President Cohen and Woods International Ambassador Herman Cohen joins me from Washington, D.C. via Zoom for more insight on this. Good to have you join us, Ambassador Cohen. At that summit, President Biden pledged to cut greenhouse gas emissions for the United States by 50 to 52% by 2030. What is the capacity of the U.S. to meet this very ambitious target, bearing in mind that anybody could be president in 2024 and decide to take a different path, just like President Trump did?
It will take major investments. Basically, what President Biden wants to do is to create renewable energy, solar and wind and waves and that sort of thing. So the more electricity we can make with solar and wind, the less electricity we will need to make with carbon emissions, like burning coal or burning gas, you see. I think it will take a lot of money, and I think the U.S. Congress will provide the money.
What would be the capacity here, again, without China? The U.S. is the second largest greenhouse gas emitter, but that's after China. And we've seen very strained relations between both countries. Even at the very last minute, it wasn't very clear if President Xi Jinping was going to attend that summit. How can the U.S. carry China along?
Well, if you look at the most recent negotiations between the U.S. and China, they were very tense. They couldn't agree on anything, like what's happening in the South China Sea, relations with Australia and that sort of thing. But there's one thing they did agree on, that they could work together on climate change. Now, China is the biggest emitter because they're burning coal all the time for electricity. And I think the U.S. can help them by changing over to renewables and other sources of energy. So that's the one area where the U.S. and China agree to work together.
And it's interesting you mentioned that the U.S. can help China in terms of renewable energy. And that's a huge concern for a lot of people, that if richer countries do not support poorer countries in terms of renewable energy, we might not see the results from this summit.
That's true. They may not. But one of the things, since we're talking about Africa too, is the rainforest. You know, the biggest eater of carbon, taking carbon out of the atmosphere, are rainforests. And there are 3 big rainforests in the world: Amazon, Central Africa, the Congo Basin, and Alaska. Now, the Congo Basin has 7 African countries, and Chinese people are busy cutting down trees. This is causing more and more carbon to be in the atmosphere. If we can only preserve this forest, which eats carbon, which brings carbon out of the atmosphere, and even enlarge the forest, I think this will be a big contribution. And by the way, in Nigeria, there are platforms in the ocean where oil is collected. Now, along with oil comes gas. So what is the NNPC doing with that gas? They're burning it out there in the ocean. When I fly into Lagos, I see the fires at night. This is bringing carbon into the atmosphere. So more and more they should bring that gas into the land and make LNG for export and make money out of it.
Ambassador Cohen, quickly, in just a few seconds because of our time, it's interesting you mentioned Nigeria, because a lot of, not just Nigeria, there are a lot of other countries and oil-producing countries. How do you hold those kind of countries accountable? Accountability is very important here.
Yes, it's important, but we have to give them incentives. We have to make sure that we can help finance the bringing of gas to the land, places like Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, and that sort of thing. We can help with financing and investments.
President Cohen and Woods International, Ambassador Herman Cohen, thanks for talking to us.
You're most welcome.